does a simple mix of cocoa, milk, and sugar turn into one of the most iconic chocolate bars in the world?
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me a break, give me a break. Break me on the piece of that Kit Kat bar. Give me a break, give me a break. Break me on the piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Well, you see, Kit Kat isn't just about snapping and snacking. It's a carefully crafted blend of crispy wafers, smooth chocolate, and a production process that leaves no detail to chance. From precision layering to quality control so strict that imperfect bars get recycled back into new ones, every step is designed for that perfect crunch. But what really goes on inside a Kit Kat factory? And what makes it so different from other chocolates? Let's break it down here at the Process World. The crunch in a Kit Kat doesn't just happen by chance. It comes from perfectly baked wafer sheets made using a mix of wheat flour, water, and other ingredients. Like for instance, the batter is spread into massive baking sheets where it's cooled until golden and crispy. These sheets are then stacked and pressed into layers, creating the light and airy texture that gives Kit Kat its signature bite. Not every wafer makes the cut. Some come out slightly off, and instead of throwing them away, factories grind them back into the process, reducing waste and keeping the flavor intact. Once the wafers are ready, they're set aside, waiting for their next transformation, the moment that they meet the smooth, rich chocolate that holds everything together. But before we get into that, please leave a like and subscribe for more amazing videos like this one. Now, moving on. First in factories are smooth, creamy blends of cocoa, milk, and sugar. This is not just any chocolate. It's meticulously refined to ensure that it melts exactly and coating every layer uniformly. Here, control of the temperature is absolutely vital. Chocolate will not set correctly if it's too warm. Too cold will not coat the wafers smoothly. Machines guarantee that every batch has the same texture and gloss as they track everything down to the lowest level. The way Kit Kat manufacturers treat garbage is one fascinating aspect of the process. Any bars that fail quality standards are ground up and used in the filler, therefore reducing waste and ensuring that nothing goes to waste. Perfectly blended chocolate is ready for the next step, combining crunchy wafers and creamy coating to create the Kit Kat bars everyone knows. The freshly baked wafer sheets are placed in layers, with the smooth chocolate acting as the glue that holds them together. Machines carefully stack the layers with precise measurements, ensuring that each bar gets the perfect balance of crisp and creamy. Once the layers are set, the bars are cut into their signature finger shapes. This step is all about precision. Each KitKat bar needs to have clean edges and uniform thickness. The cutting machines handle this with impressive speed, slicing through thousands of bars in minutes. KitKat's famous snap feature is part of the design. The bars are molded in a way that makes breaking them apart effortless. This detail has been around since the 1930s and is one of the reasons KitKat has remained so recognizable for decades. With the bars fully formed, they're almost ready for packaging. But before that, they need to go through one more important step: cooling. Right after molding, the bars move along a long conveyor belt, passing through temperature-controlled cooling chambers. These chambers slowly bring the bars to the perfect temperature, preventing the chocolate from melting or becoming too hard. The cooling has to be done just right. If the chocolate cools too fast, it can develop a dull finish. If it cools too slowly, it won't have that crisp snap KitKat is known for. That's why machines carefully monitor every step, keeping the process consistent across thousands of bars. Once the KitKats are fully cooled, they're ready for their final step: wrapping them up and sending them out to the world. This step isn't just about wrapping chocolate, it's about keeping every bar fresh, protected, and ready for shelves. The process starts with foil wrapping, where each bar is sealed in a thin layer of foil to block out moisture and keep the chocolate from losing its smooth texture. After that, the foil-wrapped bars are placed into their final packaging. Whether it's a single pack, a multi-pack, or a family-sized bag, every wrapper is carefully sealed and checked for quality. The packing machines work at incredible speeds, wrapping thousands of bars per hour, ensuring that one looks as good as it tastes. Once the packaging is complete, the bars are now officially ready to be shipped, stocked, and enjoyed by chocolate lovers everywhere. For sure, Kit Kat's crispy layers and smooth chocolate are a masterpiece of precision. But what about M&Ms? How do those tiny chocolate bites get their perfect round shape and that colorful crunchy shell that doesn't melt in your hands? It's a completely different process, and the way they're made is just fascinating. Let's take a look at what goes into creating one of the world's most iconic candies. The first real step in making M&Ms is creating the chocolate centers. This part is all about precision. The chocolate mixture made from cocoa, milk solids, and sugar is melted down until it reaches a smooth, pourable consistency. From there, it's dispensed into small round molds, shaping the chocolate into tiny spheres that will eventually become M&Ms. To make sure that every piece is the right size and shape, the molds rotate continuously, allowing the chocolate to spread evenly. The goal is to get each piece uniform, so every M&M feels the same when eaten. Once the chocolate sets, the molds open up and the solidified chocolate centers are released. For varieties like peanut M&Ms, the process is slightly different. Whole peanuts go through a separate screening process where only the best ones make the cut. They are then coated in layers of chocolate, building up the thickness until they're ready for the next step. At this point, the chocolate centers are technically edible, but they're not quite M&Ms yet. Right now, they're just plain chocolate pieces. To get that signature look and crunch, they need their iconic candy shell, which happens in the next stage. You see, what makes M&Ms unique isn't just the chocolate inside. It's the crunchy, colorful candy shell that keeps them from melting in your hands. And that shell doesn't just appear, it's built layer by layer. The process happens in large rotating drums called panning machines. The chocolate centers are placed inside, and a mixture of sugar, corn syrup, and water is sprayed onto them. As the drum spins, the liquid coating spreads evenly across the surface, forming the first thin layer of the shell. The candies are left to dry for a short time before the process is repeated. This cycle continues, adding multiple layers until the shell reaches the right thickness. Once the shells are fully formed, it's time to add color. The coated candies move to another section where food dye is applied in controlled batches. The goal is to achieve the bright, glossy colors that M&Ms are known for. Whether it's classic red, yellow, green, blue, or limited edition shades. To give them that smooth shine, the candies are polished using a light food-grade wax before they move to the next step. At this point, they have their shape, crunch, and color, but they're still missing one final detail, their signature M logo. That comes next. This step happens with high-speed printing machines that are designed to stamp millions of M&Ms with precision. The candies move across a conveyor belt, where they are carefully aligned for printing. A machine uses food-grade white ink and a technique called offset printing to apply the M to the surface. Instead of stamping directly onto the candies, the ink is first transferred to a rubber roller, which then presses the logo onto each piece. This ensures that every M&M gets a clear, clean imprint without damaging the delicate candy shell. The process is incredibly fast. About 2.6 million M&Ms are stamped per hour. Even at that speed, the printing machines have sensors that check for errors, making sure that the logos are properly applied. Any candies that don't meet the standard are removed from the production line. Now the M&Ms look complete. They have their smooth, colorful shells, their crunchy texture, and their signature logo. The next step? Getting them sorted, packaged, and ready for the world. Before they are sent down separate conveyor belts, sensors and cameras check every sweet to guarantee an even mix. Getting every pack to have the correct color balance depends on this stage. After that, the carefully measured batches of candy are channeled into such that every bag, package, or container has the right weight. After sorting, the M&Ms pass quickly via automated packaging systems, filling, sealing, and labeling the packs. The packaging is made to keep them fresh, using as little material as possible, so lowering waste. While some are wrapped in family-sized pouches or collectible containers, others are stuffed in little grab-and-go bags. Before being packed for delivery, every package is examined for accuracy. Then it is headed out to vending machines and candy aisles around the globe. Now that you know how Kit Kats get their perfect crunch and M&Ms their iconic shell, here's something to think about. If you could invent your own snack, what wild combination would you create? A crispy chocolate bar filled with popping candy? A candy-coated treat with a gooey center? Share your imagination in the comments section below.